Okay, everybody, Stephen Key here, and I have a really special guest. I say it all the time, but no, I have a special guest today. Gene Quinn, patent attorney. This guy does everything, but Gene, you need to introduce yourself because I know I saw your bio.
Yeah.
And
I think short introductions are probably the way to go.
don't be shy.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that. I had a moment, I won an award recently and they ran through my bio and I'm like, did I really do all of that? But I like to just tell people I started IP Watchdog now, IPWatchdog.com 25 years ago. It'll be 25 years in October.
All right.
And, I've had an opportunity to work with tens of thousands of inventors over the years, giving them advice primarily on either searching or with respect to their provisional applications. I have twice been named one of the most influential people in IP, which is that's just crazy. I mean, the people who get that kind of award, I mean, that's Andre Yanku and Dave Kapos and judges on the federal circuit and senators. And so to get an award like that is really cool. I enjoy what I do. I like what I do. And it's been a fun ride along the way.
You guys, he's being really modest here. He's the best in the field. I'll tell you, IP Watchdog, I'm going to talk a little bit about that later. But if you want information on anything that has to do with patents, protections, that is your number one source to go to. I go to it. Gene's done a great job. But more than that, he's a patent attorney. He's been a litigator. He influences patent law. He does all of it. You guys, he's the best there is at this. We're really happy to have him on InventRightTV.
Well, thanks a lot, Stephen. I really appreciate that. And it has been fun to, see the stuff that I do matter. Renee, my wife, told me years ago, she said, "You're going to make a difference." And I thought to myself, no, I'm just Gene Quinn, my story is one that, if you work hard and you like what you do, you can make a difference. You can. Individual people make a difference. And that's just the American dream, really, right?
Well, you're really helping my community, Gene. And I want to talk a little bit about that. Everyone that's watching the YouTube or InventRight TV YouTube channel, we talk a lot about provisional patent applications.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, I do too.
Okay. Not everybody loves them, but
no, but they don't, but they're wrong. I mean, it is one of those black and white things that you are wrong if you don't use them.
Because, Gene, a provisional patent application is really something, it's a great tool to test when you're at the very beginning of this journey of, I have an invention, I want to commercialize it, I'm not quite sure, I don't have all the details. So I think it's a great tool at the very beginning for us inventors not to spend a lot of money on a non-provisional. Am I right about that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, as you know, because you're an entrepreneur, we're both entrepreneurs, whenever you're setting out to do whatever, whether it's you're going to make something and sell it, whether you're going to invent it and license it, whatever it may be, you have to do any number of things simultaneously. Now, we all know you can't do things simultaneously. So what you have to do when you have a limited budget is figure out through the appropriate triage, what do I do? And the key thing that you as an inventor need to do at some point in time, if you want to, for example, license your invention, you have to be able to talk to people. You have to be able to show them what you've come up with. You have to, and you can't possibly do that if you haven't done something, anything to secure the rights, because otherwise you're just contributing it to them and giving it away, and they make money and then you don't.
It's even more important today to file a provisional patent application than it was even so many years ago. Why is that, Gene?
Well, I mean, you just look at the news. I mean, a lot of the big companies, the biggest companies out there, depending upon what you're working in, some of the biggest companies out there don't necessarily particularly respect IP as much as you would like. And if you go and you have a meeting with some of these players and you lay it all out on the table, you're giving it to them. And if you don't have anything to secure what you've told them and they just take it from you, well, you're just left holding the bag. So you have to be in a world where there's a few mega giants in certain industries, they sometimes develop in a way that they push their weight around. I mean, you've heard people at Facebook like Mark Zuckerberg say, just copy other people. You've heard lots of large companies just say, ignore rights, copyrights, ignore patents. And that's a philosophy. Now, there's plenty of reputable businesses out there, as you know, and that's who you want to work with. But whether you may be working with somebody that is going to play fast and loose with the rules, my definition of what it would be fast and loose, or you're going to work with somebody that's real reputable and responsible, there's nothing wrong with securing your rights by filing that provisional and saying, hey, world, this is what I came up with.
Okay. It used to be you could start out by putting something in an inventor's journal. But
Yeah.
because the laws change, first
Yep.
inventor to file, it's even more important today to file pretty quickly. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I want to make sure people understand you still want to keep an inventor notebook
Okay.
because, but that's for personal reasons. Because as you're going through and inventing, you have to keep track of what worked and what didn't
Okay.
work and what you tried. Otherwise, you're just going to constantly reinvent what you've already done. But that inventor notebook, which used to be your entree to, within a year filing an application of some sort, is no longer the answer because the laws have changed to file first. It's first to file. And that has to be interpreted as file first.
Okay.
And if you don't file first, there's going to be a very small percentage of you that will fall into the exceptions and you'll be okay.
All
But
right.
99% of people are going to make an enormously tragic mistake if they don't file something first.
All right. A couple years ago, I was teaching my members about how to write a provisional patent application. And I thought, maybe I should get an expert to do this because I'm not a patent attorney and I've written a lot of them and I'm very
Uh-huh.
comfortable through that process. And I reached out to you, Gene, and I
Mhm.
said, Gene, you've got a program. And I know it's probably a great program that will help people write a provisional patent application. It's a software program. And I asked you for it, but you said no.
Yeah.
Could you tell that
And
story? What happened?
well, I I was embarrassed to let people use it because it wasn't polished. It was really good. It was very good, but it wasn't polished. So I needed to spend some time to get it right. And I came up with this many years ago. I actually filed for my own patent on it, and I never got it. And my friends at the patent office, just trying to tell me, it's like, wait, you're trying to get a patent on how to draft a patent? And I'm like, yeah. And they said, look, they're never going to let you have that. And so I did abandon the patent, but I've made some money and helped other people make money doing this. But I wanted it to be right. I didn't want to just throw anything out there. Um, and so we set out to like take what I had and really code it up like I had wanted to, which in some regards I kind of liken it in a way is to like TurboTax. You go page by page answering question by question, and then at the end your tax returns are done. That's sort of what I wanted to do, and I think we've accomplished that with the system. It asks you questions little by little. It gives you guidance, tells you why we're asking the question, and it gives you examples. Like here would be the A answer if you were going to get graded. So aim for something of this level. And inventors, given that guidance and the incentive, because they know their invention best, as you know, an inventor, if you have a real invention, you know it best. They can produce really high quality provisionals.
Everyone, uh, when I asked Gene about this program, he said, look, give me some time,
Yeah.
polish it up, because he knew my members and I think he knew a little bit about what we're trying to do, that he wanted
Mhm.
to do something that was spectacular, and he accomplished that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I mean, because I don't like just throwing stuff out there, I mean, something can be said in the business world to not letting the perfect become the enemy of the good or the good become the enemy of the perfect, however you want to look at it. But it needs to, in my world, to put my name on it, it's gotta be pretty good.
It's really good. It's called, on our site, you can purchase it. It's called Smart IP. I'm going to tell you, it's excellent. I've had patent attorneys look at it. I don't know if you
Mhm.
noticed that. I have them review it, and they all come back and go, this is pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've had people tell me, and when I first started having this happen, I was a little skeptical, but so many people, and I'm sure you've heard this too, they take the output that they're able to create and they take it to an attorney to look at it. And they're like, well, I really don't have anything I could add.
Yeah. Okay.
It is,
It's
and there's a
good.
synergy there. There's a synergy that you don't necessarily expect. And I came across this many, many years ago when I was teaching law students. And I had this one woman in the class. She was taking the class. She was kind of casually interested in the topic, having a hard time learning how to draft, needed to draft something so I could grade it for her. And I gave her 20 questions. And I said, answer these 20 questions and come to my office hours. And I thought that would be the end of it, because usually you put something off on a student like that and they go away. They never show up. She did. She answered all 20 questions, came to my office, and I said, all right, so I had you answer this for this reason. This goes here. And then we went through the questions, and you could see the application build and develop. And then as she got more context, she got it. She understood it. She wasn't staring at a blank screen. And I thought to myself, if I could teach somebody who was taking this class because it fit into their time and they needed 2 credits and they were not necessarily a patent interested, how to draft something good, that I could teach inventors who have a lot on riding on this, who know their invention best and just need to be guided. And it's worked, and it works remarkably.
No, it really does,
Almost
everybody.
better than I could expect, really.
It took him a year. When I mentioned
Yeah.
it to him, he said, "I'll get back to you." It was a year later, so he really put a
Yeah.
lot of work into this.
Yeah, we did, and I think we've accomplished the vision that I set out to do, and it's pretty, you know, as far as things go. When you create something like this, you want it to be idiot proof, right? And it's not to say that the users are idiots, but when you're excited, you're anxious, you want to get something out on paper. Sometimes you make mistakes or you miss it. So we try to anticipate all of the possible uses for it and all the ways that inventors may approach it. And like one of the simple things is, and I had this when I was an electrical engineer, lost how we used to go in the middle of the night to do our coding, because it was the only time we could get a computer and that was fast, because it was like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and the mainframes were much faster, much less load. And one night I had been coding all night and the power went out. And I'm like, oh my God, I lost everything. I was 18, 19 years old, stupid, hadn't been saving along the way. So one of the things that we did with this was, no matter what you click to go to the next screen, it's going to save what you worked on. And it's like, so all the green buttons are save, and you can exit without saving, but you have to want to do it. You have to try to do that. And because little things like that, you don't want to have your great, in my experience, when you put something in writing first, that's usually the best. So if you make the mistake and you haven't saved it, now I got to go back and do it. It's never quite the same the second time. So little things like that we tried to think about.
Oh, we have a lot of people using it now. They absolutely love it. If you want to write a provisional patent application, I'm going to tell you now, Smart IP, all the information's down below. Learn from Gene Quinn. You'll learn a lot. He kind of teaches you how to do it along the way. It's a great program. Highly recommend it. It's called Smart IP. Purchase it down below. Gene, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Stephen.
If you're not sure about this and you need a little help, please give us a call. We have a program called Gateway where we do everything for you. We know how to reach out to the right companies. We know how to reach out to the right people. We know how to make sure your marketing material is communicating correctly so they can look at it, they can make good decisions. We know what questions they're going to ask, and we can be prepared for those questions in advance. And when that licensing agreement comes over, we can help make sure it's a fair and balanced licensing agreement so everybody's happy. Basically, we're doing all the work for you. It's our program called Gateway, and if you need help on any of this, please pick up the phone, call us, and let's see if Gateway is right for you.